The Carpe Diem dress is a multi-size pattern that goes from extra small through 3XL. It also has different fronts, an AB front and a CD front, depending on the shape and size of your bust line, and two different side panels, the flared side or the straight side, depending on the relationship of your upper body to your lower body. The pattern book gives you a lot of information about how to decide which one you need. My suspicion is you know your body well enough to know which would be the better choice for you. In this video, we're going to look at moving between two sizes on a multi-size pattern. This is one of the benefits of having a multi-size pattern where the patterns are stacked and you have all of the sizes right there, so you can move between them depending on your personal curves. I'm going to trace off the side panel, the flared side panel, and go between the medium and the large in order to move from a smaller upper body to a larger lower body. And you'll see how that works and how easy it is as long as you have the tools you need, especially a curved ruler, which I will demo in this video. Let's look at this pattern work here for moving between sizes. So many of you will need perhaps a smaller size on the top and a smaller size and a larger size through the hips, or vice versa, as we discussed in the introduction. And today we're actually going to look at shaping up the sleeveless side of the Carpe Diem dress. And the person for whom this is going to be made for had the top basically a medium, and the small and the hip area was more of the large in terms of their measurements and the chart on the back of the pattern. So I have already gone to the trouble of tracing off here, and I'm going to line this up so you can see what has been done. The large and the medium pattern. So you can see, and I'm going to set a little magnet here, a little weight, so we don't have this changing. But you can see here that I traced off in the red, the medium, and then I've actually trimmed away the extra paper from the large so that I know what I'm doing. And this is actually the pattern piece that I'm going to work from. I have drawn the balance lines and the grain lines on it because that's always a good baseline from which to operate, and if you have to reconnect things later, you'll be able to do that. So I'm going to actually move away the original pattern. You could actually have just cut your original pattern. In this case, I wanted to show you the traced off version. We're using the roll of pattern paper that we have available on the website. And you can use your rulers as you trace things off. If you're trying to get used to using a curved ruler, this is particularly useful. But I'm going to pull away the original pattern, and we're going to just be left here with the medium and the large, and we know that we need to go from medium to large in the hip area. This indicates the underarm, where if you were wearing a sleeve on your jacket, on your dress, you would have the sleeve coming up. The sleeveless side panel extends up into the armhole, so you have coverage when you are wearing your garment. And this is the next balance line here, is the balance line for the sort of high hip. So we're going to presume that we want to move from the medium into the large, somewhere between this armhole line and the first horizontal balance line. And I'm just going to choose a spot. If you know your body well enough, you'll be able to figure that out. And if your waist is higher or lower, you would just place it where you wanted to. There's no definition here as to exactly where the waist is. You're going to create it based on the shape of the pattern that you have made or you have altered. And then we're going to take our curved ruler and we're going to figure out exactly how we want to go out. Now, I think we'll go from here all the way to the large line, and then that's what I will use when I make the mock-up. And then if I need to adjust it a little bit more, I'll be able to. When you are doing this kind of pattern work, and you see me kind of moving the rulers around, because you really have to find the place where the ruler straddles the original line and then moves out from it, so that you can have a nice blended line. You don't want any jagged lines when you're doing your pattern work. And so I have my ruler set here. This is where I'm going to start. I've made a green dot there, and I've lined up the ruler edge so that it is running against the red line that's there for the medium. And I'm actually going to just take this now and start my new line. I'm not going to go very far because this is not giving me a very easy way, but I'm going to hope that when I come here and line up the ruler with the next line, so here I have my line lined up, and I'm actually going to now come along this line, and that's going to allow me to connect here to the large down in the hip area, which is actually, I think, the perfect thing for the person that I'm changing this for. So I'm going to come along here, and I'm going to connect these two lines with this blended line. So you can see it right there. It's coming here and coming out into the line that I want it to connect to. So I've gone neatly and smoothly from the medium to the large. If I find when I get this made up that there's too much room in the hip, then I can minimize that or add to it. You can take a piece of your pattern paper if you need it a little bit more, and you could tape it here along the edge of the pattern and allow it to extend even further. That's the beauty of developing your patterns in paper. You have the possibility of changing and rearranging them so that they will work. So now we're going to actually make this same mark over here on the front. This was the back that we were working on, and we know it's the back because it has the double notches everywhere. So I'm going to make that mark here too, and I'm going to do the same thing. Now we're working with the flared side. You have two choices of sides. You have the straight side or the flared side, and of course if your hip is larger than your upper body, you want to be using the flared side anyway. It gives you the most opportunities. And so we're going to come here again and find a line that straddles the curve here along the line, and I have about ½ inch here along the original line, and I'm going to just come along here and make that new line. And in fact, I'm going to do this in blue and see if you can maybe see it a little bit better. It's always a trick here. Yeah, I do think that's a little bit better. And then I'm going to flip this around. This is the So Successfully curved ruler, which is a great ruler for working on these sorts of projects. And I'm going to place that ruler in here. You can see that it is connecting here. It's blending, the ruler is blending to the new blue line, and then it's going to allow us to come out and join the original large line from the new line that we're drawing. And we're going to just draw along there. You have to, you know, your lines won't look particularly perfectly beautiful in the beginning, but you want to make sure that you are blending well, and you'll get, like I said, better at this, finding the place. Now I'm going to do one more thing here, because ultimately I'm going to cut away what is on this side of this line, and I'm going to leave what's in cut all the way up there to have the medium at the top of this pattern, because we know that's what we need. And I'm going to move that notch, which is not going to be, it's going to be eliminated if I don't move it. So the notches do run pretty much straight out from each other, but it's good to have one there. So if you need to put those notches in, particularly on these side panels, because you have the fronts need to match to the front and the back to the back, especially if your body needs a little bit different nuance, front to back. And you will think about that too as you do this. So when you make your maca, you can make this piece. You'll put those balance lines and grain lines on it, and then you will test it and see how it fits. And as you look at the grain lines and HBLs, you'll be able to nuance that fit. You can also make those same similar blending changes wherever you need them on the pattern, and you could do them here on both the front and the back that would connect to this pattern piece as you are going forward. Thanks for watching this multi-size adjustment video. I hope it empowers you to do any adjustment you need to when you're moving from different sizes, whether from small to large or large down to a smaller size, depending on the shape of your body. Good luck and happy sewing.